Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from GamaKay. This is their TK75-V2 tri-mode mechanical keyboard, allowing you to connect devices either via wired connection, 2.4 gigahertz dongle, or Bluetooth. This also has an LCD screen built in, and it is a 75% keyboard with 81 keys, so if you need to save space on your desk, you might want to check this one out. We're going to dig into it now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a look at everything that comes in the box with the TK75. You do get a user manual or reference manual here, and we're going to take a quick look at this, and I will leave this up at this point in the video, so if I miss anything you can come and check it out for yourself. It's going to have connection modes here on the right. 3 Bluetooth devices can be connected, 2.4 gigahertz via a dongle, and of course wired mode as well. You do have your keyboard lighting settings on the left. And we do have our function keys here as well, so I'll leave these up at this point in the video. If I do miss anything that you're interested in, then you can double check by coming back to this point in the video. So you do want to hold on to this just in case you do need to reference it. Now they do offer a few different things in the box, as well as a keycap and key switch puller, because you can pull all of the keycaps and replace them if you would like to with your own custom ones, and the same thing for 3 or 5 pin switches as well. They do give us a bunch of screws here, and these screws have to do with the fact that this has a flexible design. It has a gasket top dual structure that can be converted to a top mount by locking the top cover using the screws that they give you. So that's a very nice thing to be able to do if you want to convert it that way. We do get a braided USB Type A to USB Type C cable for recharging or using in wired mode. Now this has a 4,000 milliamp battery in it, so you will get some long battery life in wireless mode. This is a 75% keyboard with 81 keys, and you also get a metal knob at the upper right hand side that will help you navigate the little screen at the bottom, and also of your volume up and down and mute. So we do have that TFT screen there that's going to show you some information and allow you to put on static images like JPEGs or GIF, animated GIF images as well. Overall, it's pretty clean on the sides. On the back, we do have a tri-mode switch and a USB Type-C input, again for wired mode and recharging. Now the tri-mode switch, if you do this to the left, is going to be 2.4 gigahertz dongle. The middle is going to be wired mode, and to the right will be Bluetooth mode. So you will switch that manually in the back. Looking at the bottom here, we do have dual levelers, so you can have 2 different angles here. And on the right hand side, you do have the 2.4 gigahertz dongle in a little magnetic slot here, and this is nice and cleverly hidden under the leveler in case you need to grab that. So that's the quick unboxing of the GamaKay TK75-V2. Taking a closer look at the board and the switches, we can see that we have pre-installed the GamaKay Pegasus silent switches. Now this is going to give you a subtle tactile feel and almost silent typing experience. So if you are in an environment where you have other people around you and you don't want to bother them, you're still going to get that mechanical feel, but this is almost an entirely silent keyboard for those switches. Now, as far as the keycaps go, we've got PBT double shot keycaps in cherry profile, so you can switch these out for any ones that you would like. South facing RGB, and of course if you don't like the Pegasus switches, you can switch them out with any 3 or 5 pin switches that you would like. Now you can adjust the RGB on this using the function key and the backslash key here to go through your modes. You'll also notice on the right hand side we do have an LED light bar that can be controlled through the LCD screen or the software as well. So you can control all of this without having to use the software if you want to, using the function backslash key and other combinations for this to be able to change the color and the modes. Using the function up and down arrow keys are going to be for your brightness all the way to off, and left and right will be the speed of the animation. Using function left will slow down the animation, and function right will speed it up. Now we can take a look at the LCD screen that we have at the bottom. Now it's going to by default show you your date, your time, your battery life, how you're connected, and all of that right here on a nice little screen. Using the function key and the knob, we can double press that and we can get into the mode where you'll see that it blinked there for a second. And now we can change this by spinning the knob. It takes it out of the volume mode, and we can change things like our OS from Mac to Windows. We can change our LED settings, and if we go into LED settings, we've got all of our modes here again that we can cycle through. So that's nice and easy to be able to do right here with the little screen here. We can also change the speed of the animation and the brightness, as well as the color. So if you want to make it all one color, you can easily do that right here. You'll see that the color for all the keys will change. No problems whatsoever. So I'm going to leave it on RGB for now. And we also have other options as well as our S LED set, which is this LED bar next to the page up and page down buttons. If we go into the S LED set, we can also change a few different animations. We can also change and turn it off fully if you don't like it or don't want it. We can change the brightness and of course the speed on this as well. So we do have those options for that LED bar. We also get our CPU power here, and this is going to be temperature and power when you're in wired mode. You'll be able to use this through the software, and it will show you your temperature for your CPU and things like that. And then of course we have our animated GIF. This is just an Alice in Wonderland GIF that I uploaded to this device using the software, which I'll show you right now. Taking a look at the GamaKay driver version 4, you can see that we do have our keyboard layout here, and each key can be remapped to another function or key except for the knob, which is of course reserved for either changing volume or accessing your LCD screen. Now if we select, like say, the F key, we can do basic keys, we can do macros, we can do function keys like stop and forward and reverse and pause and play, calculator, things like that, mouse functions, and we can even disable each key as well. So we do have a lot of those going on. Now we do have 3 different profiles here that we can use, so we can make different profiles for different setups. We have other settings here, as in our sleep time for when you're in 2.4 gigahertz or Bluetooth. So in 2.4 gigahertz, it's usually 2 minutes by default, but you can change that to as many minutes as you would like. And then Bluetooth 2 minutes the same way, and then Bluetooth deep sleep is 30 minutes, but again, you can adjust these to whatever you want to save battery life. We also have advanced key settings here. Bind 2 selected keys, and if 2 keys are pressed at the same time, the last pressed key will be used. So you can configure that if you need to or want to. So you can really do this per key. Again, the only thing that you can't program is the knob. Now we do have our function layer settings here as well, and there are going to be some reserved ones that are system keys that you cannot switch. We do have a full macro editing suite here as well. So of course we can create and modify macros here, and then we can assign these right to the keys, and we can save them, of course, and use them whenever we would like. Now in display settings, this is where you're going to upload either a static image or a GIF image, animated GIF image. You can even use the brush here, and you can actually make your own if you want to do your own pixel art, that type of thing. But if we select a photo, it'll allow us to select a static or animated GIF, and then you can see what it's going to look like on the screen by going over here to preview animation or preview image. Now we can change the layers and the image intervals. We can write it to the keyboard or save it to our PC. And we do have some other settings in here as well. On the screen for the LED screen, we can change the language, we can sync the time to our system, and we can also get our CPU. This is where you get the CPU sync, and you can also clear the screen as well. So that'll clear any image that's on the screen, and then you can add a new one if you would like. Now under light settings, this is going to give us all our lighting effects. We've got about 15 or 20 or so, between 15 and 20, and we can switch between all of these as we want. The color shining is going to be RGB, but if we do custom color, we can set our values or pick it from the palette and make the colors whatever we would like. Now we do have 4 steps of brightness that we can adjust and 4 steps of light speed or animation speed that we can adjust right here as well, and we can add all of that. So that is going to be your light settings main page. And then of course we have our light edit, and this is where we can actually select individual keys and set them to either random colors or a color that we would like. So we can definitely do per key lighting on this as well. Now that side light is that little bar light that you saw earlier next to the home page, page up and page down, and we do have just a few different light effects for this, and we can change it to a custom color or RGB, and again 4 steps of brightness and 4 steps of the animation speed. So that's the lighting. All your local configurations that you save will show up here, and there is a community here that will upload light effects, animation effects, as well as like GIF animations, and you can download these from the community. Lots of people have been uploading. You can see we've got 28 pages of GIF animations here that we can download and then use on our setup. So that's really nice to be able to have. And then you have your config shares and macro shares as well. And of course, you'll have your own that you can upload if you register with GamaKay. You can do that as well. Under more, we've got our driver version here, and we can check for updates. Same thing with firmware upgrading. We can have it start on boot up, or we can have it minimized to the tray when closed or exit the program, depending on what you like. So this has a very, very nice, robust software for the TK75-V2 to really customize it and make it your own. So there you go, that's my review of the GamaKay TK75-V2 tri-mode mechanical keyboard. The things I really like about it is it's compact, so it's going to save a lot of space on your desk if you don't mind giving up that number pad on the right hand side. It has these Pegasus switches that give me a mechanical feel but are really virtually silent, which is something different. Normally when I test keyboards, I test them and they're fairly loud. They've got that tactile feel, but they're kind of on the loud side. So if you're looking for a nice silent switch, the Pegasus switches are excellent for typing on. Super comfortable typing experience and virtually silent. It has tri-mode, so you can do Bluetooth devices, 2.4 gigahertz, or wired mode. And overall, I've been very impressed with the whole package that you get, including the software for the TK75 version 2. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.